We talk infrastructure. A lot of people talk about roads and bridges and energy, but I want to start with a part of the infrastructure plan, that $2 trillion proposal, at least what it is now, that touches a lot of us, our homes. Now, under that plan, we'd see a plan to build 1.5 million sustainable homes and about 500,000 charging stations. Can you give us a sense of what that would mean for your business? How would the chip shortage impact that? And would you manufacture some of that stuff, at least on your end, at one of your 30 sites here in the U.S.?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think when we think about the Biden-Harris climate plan and the 1.9 trillion infrastructure, really there's a lot of ways that it really impacts our company. I mean, that Build Back Better in a more sustainable way really does help companies like you talked about, Walmart, Clorox, PepsiCo, where we have been working with them on more sustainable ways to procure their energy, not only with themselves, but with their supply base. So in the Walmart example that you mentioned, we're actually saving, more than 1 million tons of CO2 with them and their supply base, actually accelerating many of these companies' ability to hit their sustainability objectives. But that's not it. It goes on into military installations like the Miramar Air Force Base, where we put in a 5 megawatt microgrid. You talked about residential and obviously the same sort of energy efficiency, in the homes, and really accelerating the adoption of electric vehicles, and not only for individuals, but for the fleets, like a customer like PACCAR, where we're working with Faith Technologies to really help them accelerate their electric vehicle infrastructure for both their factories and their dealerships.
So we all know what traditional infrastructure is. We're talking about roads, bridges, the grid. But when we talk about sustainable or green infrastructure, there doesn't seem to be a real consensus from Capitol Hill to Main Street exactly what that means. What does that actually mean, and how does that impact the way we get our power?
Yeah, we like to think about that in terms of, buying more sustainable energy or actually microgrids. And, one of the ways you might think about a microgrid is something that's decentralized, right? It's actually closer to the point of use, requires less transmission. It actually is less sensitive to the grid outages. It's also potentially decarbonized. It can come from solar or wind, and then it's digitized, meaning it can operate in an island mode or it can operate in conjunction with the grid.
So just hypothetically, if in Texas they had more of those microgrids, what difference could we have seen?
We actually know some of our customers in Texas with microgrids that were able to sustain their operations. They were able to continue to have power and more resilience in a time when the grid was under a lot of pressure. And, when in the Texas grid example, every hour of outage is millions of dollars for data centers and many of our manufacturing customers. So, this is really powerful. And we've had a number of examples where we've been able to stand up microgrid resiliency for our customers. The Miramar is a great example. They have a 5 megawatt microgrid, and when the local community was out of power, they actually were able to take that 5 megawatts and power 2,500 homes.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.